given for years, but I never thought it would be me giving one. I'm extremely thankful for the opportunity to talk to you all tonight, not only as Zeke Baker, but as a representative member of the MHS Band's class of 2016. I'd like to first recognize the directors, starting with Mr. Beckman. There's a reason most people would first think of Mr. Beckman when talking about the MHS Band program. Mr. Beckman's charisma and attitude towards teaching mesh well with all students, and incoming freshmen flock to our band program each year to really get to know the big bald guy they've heard so much about. I've had the pleasure of getting to know Mr. Beckman on a closer level than most these past 4 years. As a result, I feel he is more than a teacher to me. He is a mentor and a friend. When someone can become this potent pair of roles for a student, learning becomes exponentially easier and more gratifying. Due to the current state of our band program, I think it's safe to say that I'm not the only one that he has this type of relationship with. Now for Mr. Miller. As most of you hopefully know by now, this is Mr. Miller's first year as a band director here in Muskego. Some rookie band directors would take the first year to get adjusted to the feel of the program before making the position their own, but Mr. Miller is no rookie. He began the year by grabbing the bull by its horns, and I commend him for that. He was met with plenty of opposition by some of the students, but he stuck with his no-nonsense attitude to raise our musicianship to his standards. Though many students were initially outraged by his cell phone policy or his criteria for us before he would conduct, Mr. Miller has really impacted our program for the better in this first year that he has been with us. Lastly, I'd like to recognize and thank the Muskego High School Music Department as a whole for everything it has done for myself and the rest of the senior class. As a member of both band and choir, I've really gotten the whole experience that MHS Music has to offer, which is quite a lot. The music department turns down no one, and it capacitates and pushes for excellence in all types of music. 4 years ago, I never would have guessed how much stronger of a musician I would be right now in all phases of music production. As a garnish upon this experience, I have made countless uniquely amazing friends in the process. Without the influence of the Muskego High School Music Department in my life, I don't know where I'd be, but there's no way that it could positively compare to where I am now. So much of who I am today is due to my experiences with music here at MHS, and I'm sure most of the others, seniors who just left, could say the same.
Hi. I was going to say good evening, but that sounded a little Dracula-like, and I'm a little too jacked up to be calm. So, my name is Peter Waldock. I'm a member of the graduating class of 2016. Over my 4 years in the MHS band program, I've learned that as much as band is about the music, it's even more about the people, the opportunities, and the self-insight you receive as being a result of being in a band. I would like to share some of what I've learned with all of you tonight. First off, band instills in you a sense of camaraderie and gives you some of the best friends you will ever meet. Every year, on the first day of band camp, I remember that I've looked around and seen a lot of varying shades of white, ranging from like pasty to an eggshell. But by Tuesday, that's usually faded to a pink. And by the end of band camp, everyone is somewhere between crisply burned and a deep tan. Of course, with the darkest tan on the back of your calves, and the ever-popular raccoon eyes, and watch hands, oh, and the lanyard burn. Nice little line right here on the back of your neck. Long story short, band makes it pretty sexy, right? But by the end of that week of fun in the sun, we're united by so much more than just our tan lines. We, the nearly 300-person marching band, can function as a cohesive unit. No small feat, considering that the average attention span of a high schooler band camp is 11 seconds, give or take. It's pretty amazing. An achievement of this magnitude gives me at least, and I know that a lot of other people, An achievement of this magnitude gives me, and I know a lot of other people, a sense of togetherness most often found on a tightly knit sports team. If you've experienced this, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, there's no way I could possibly explain it. I thank the MHS Band for giving me this opportunity. I've met most of my closest friends, and even my high school sweetheart in the band program. For me, multifaceted as an intellectual, a music lover, a dork, a leader, and a hard worker, the band program is just a melting pot of like-minded individuals with talents ranging from varsity athletes to state debate champions to a guy who can tell you what kind of apple you're eating just by looking at it. That's me. The band class of 2016 includes the school valedictorian, future music majors, future teachers, engineers, veterinarians, Marines, airmen, chemists, nurses, and everybody in between. We are all united, though, by at least one thing: music, shared with us by these two guys and a lady. Mr. Beckman, Mr. Miller, and Mrs. Olis, we owe you so much. Thank you. The second thing that I learned from the band is that band gives you opportunities that you never thought you would have. My freshman year, if you had told me that over the next 4 years, I'd perform 4 times in Appleton, once in La Crosse, twice in Madison, and once in New Orleans, I would have said you were crazy. If you would have told me that I would end up in charge of a section of tubas and eventually be one of the role models for the entire band, I would have never believed you. If you had told me that one day I would be standing on this stage, quaking in my size 13 shoes, as I am right now, trying to condense everything that I've gotten from this band program into a 5-minute snippet, I would have never believed you. And I still can't believe you, because it's just impossible to summarize all that I've gotten over these 4 long years in such an amazing program in such a short amount of time. Third, and finally, band gives you a better sense of yourself and teaches you how to work together. Nobody lives in isolation, so working together is a necessary skill. Whether it's letting go of your ego and playing mezzo piano instead of triple forte, trombones need to work on that. Or being compassionate enough to tell some poor little freshman where they need to go. I believe that band teaches you to be a better person. It gives you a perspective on how important you really are, which you're not. And a perspective on how much you can achieve if you work cohesively with a lot of people, and you can achieve a lot. One of the first things that Mr. Beckman says every year is, and this is more or less a direct quote, the sooner you stop caring about what other people think, the sooner you truly start enjoying life. I've found that this is so true, and it helps with confidence, self-image, and just having fun. My freshman year, I was so preoccupied with appearances and with what people thought of me that I didn't really step out of my shell. This year at band camp, I shamelessly, I'm a dork, and I like to collect World War II field gear. So we had America theme day for band camp, and I wore all of that and a steel helmet all day long. I mean, how dork is that? Although I can't say that I never care what people think about me, I care a lot less. And I think it makes me a happier person. The overarching thing that I've learned from this band program is that a person should act like who they are, express themselves, and then if they do that, they will find people like them. Never conform. Be you. You are beautiful the way you are, and you will find other beautiful, smart, funny people who are just like you. I and the rest of the senior class of 2016 will remain forever indebted to Mr. Beckman, to Mr. Miller, Mrs. Olis, our parents, and our peers for teaching us so much about music and about life. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody. I actually wasn't expecting to be up here tonight, so I apologize if I seem a little jumpy. The final thing that we have is the traditional senior gifts for our directors. For both of them, we got an individualized gift. First for Miller, we got him a cell phone jail. Because with him in his first year, he brought a policy of cell phone lockdown that we were not expecting, and he cracked down on. Secondly, for Mr. Beckman, we got a movie poster of the three amigos with his face photoshopped in each of the three amigos. This gift is really special because every year Beckman would force us to watch this movie, whether we wanted to or not.
Great movie. I agree with you.
The second gift that we got for our directors is a personalized t-shirt for each of them with what we consider their catchphrases. First, for Miller, we have a t-shirt that says, "It's my first day." The explanation for this, of course, is that whenever someone would ask him a question, his response was always, "It's my first day." This continued for almost 4 months. Our t-shirt for Mr. Beckman says, "First mistake all year." Because of course, every time Mr. Beckman would make a mistake, it was his first mistake all year. I think we're still at 1, aren't we? It's probably more like 40. And the final gift that we got for both of them, a tradition that every senior class does, is the Rice Krispie treats and cheese balls. So for the Rice Krispie treats, they are made out of, they are made into laborers' buses. All families from the past few years will know this.
Which one's the broken down one?
Well, it's gonna break down when we eat it, I think. It wasn't one, it was 3. We're not taking laborers' buses to Florida.
Sing a jingle.
So, Mr. Beckman and Mr. Miller. You guys think Carrie Noah too? Thank you to both of you for all that you do.